Local 2 investigates the death of a Harris County deputy constable.
Scott Claiborne was killed by a drunk driver 4 years ago while working with a construction crew on the Beltway near Hammerley. But Claiborne's family believes that drunk driver isn't the only one responsible for his death. It's a case headed to court, and KPRC Local 2 investigative reporter Robert Arnold explains it's one that questions whether those who protect construction crews around Houston are getting the protection they need.
Well, he was a wonderful husband and father.
4 years ago, Paula Henderson received the call every officer's wife dreads.
I immediately became a single mother, wondering how am I going to provide for my child.
Me and my dad used to play football almost every day, spend time with each other every time we could.
Precinct 4 Deputy Constable Scott Claiborne was killed when Donald Lee Fincher slammed into his patrol car just after 2 a.m. Fincher's blood alcohol level was more than 3 times the legal limit.
I think it could have been prevented if they would have had the proper equipment up there.
Betty Claiborne believes Fincher isn't the only one responsible for the death of her only child. When Fincher hit Claiborne's car, the deputy constable was working an off-duty job protecting a construction crew from W.W. Weber.
Well, everyone in the construction zone deserves to be protected.
Claiborne's family believes Scott should have been protected by one of these. It's called a TMA, truck-mounted attenuator. It's designed to shield construction crews from errant drivers by absorbing the blow from a crash. Industry standards call for the devices to protect crews, like this one, that aren't working behind concrete barriers. The family is suing W.W. Weber.
They instructed him to go with this crew and to shadow this crew. They did provide him with the protection that their own contract required.
Rob Ammons is the family's attorney. W.W. Weber had a contract with Harris County, and Ammons points to item 502. Shadow vehicles equipped with truck-mounted attenuators are required as shown on traffic control plan.
What caused this accident was a man named Donald Lee Fincher.
Attorney Andrew McKinney represents W.W. Weber. He argues since the county's contract did not require Weber to have police officers working with the crews, there was no requirement to have a TMA behind them.
There is no plan or specification that calls out the circumstances of putting a TMA in advance of a police officer parked on the side of the road.
McKinney argues several other points, including TMAs are not guarantees. Since the trucks are only 8 feet wide and the work zone is 36 feet wide. Plus, McKinney says officers are on the side of busy freeways all the time, pulling over speeders and running radars without TMAs behind them. He also argues putting a TMA behind Claiborne would have blocked the flashing lights from his patrol car.
And defeat the purpose of his being there, which is to slow traffic down to protect the crew.
Ammons says Weber should have anticipated the dangers that come with doing road work at 2 a.m. when the bars close. Plus, Ammons says Weber did have a crash truck there the morning Claiborne was killed. It was parked and not being used.
There was simply a decision not to do what should have been done.
Police officers are being used as crash trucks and when they should not be.
As for Donald Lee Fincher, he was charged with intoxication manslaughter. He pleaded guilty and got 4 years in prison. Claiborne's family is also suing him and the bar that served him. Robert Arnold, KPRC Local 2.
Harris County is also suing W.W. Weber, claiming breach of contract, and is seeking to recoup the workman's compensation money paid to Claiborne's family. W.W. Weber disputes both claims. If you've got a story for Local 2 Investigates, call the tip line at 713-223-TIPS or email local2investigates@click2houston.com.